Hi guys, I'm Blackie and welcome back to the channel. And today in the Ground Pounder series, I'm going to try to spare you a little buyer's remorse, or at least at best educate you to some fake surplus out there. Now you're going to encounter surplus on eBay, Amazon, and everything else is going to claim to be U.S. Army surplus, but may not be. Now the most obvious is the Chinese canteens that are actually slightly smaller in size than our stuff, and the canteen cups that are that super soft like white aluminum with the little riveted handles on them that just first time you put them in a fire they're going to fall off, things like that. What had happened to me was I had went to a gun show, oh, it's been probably 8 or 9 years ago, maybe more than that now. And I was at the gun show walking around, and amongst all the guns, there was a guy selling surplus. And then, as I'm looking at the packs and the various gears in this big box, he had ponchos. And it said, Army issue ponchos, the new ones. Price was good. I picked it up. And I could tell that if this is the U.S. Army issue, it's a little lighter. But the price was good, and so as a sil nylon type poncho, I picked it up. Now this is a standard U.S. Army woodland, and this is that new pattern. So I thought, well, maybe they've changed a little bit. Let me point out what you're looking for. This one is not the same size as a U.S. Army, but it's got similar numbers. Okay, and so I'm going to set them up one on top of the other in just a minute so you can see them and see the difference. But the giveaway is you're going to look along, and they've got the proper two-sided snaps, but you're going to have this white tag in it. And it's not going to be a U.S. Army tag that's going to give you the ISN number and all like that. It's just a standard tag. And then there's going to be a made in China tag hid in there. Plus the grommets are not brass type grommets. They're these little thin grommets. Okay. Now this is a perfectly adequate poncho. And I've used it for several years. As a poncho and to throw over the pack, it works well. But it is not a U.S. Army. And there's a size difference. And if you're wanting the poncho for, like I've showed you in videos, how to do shelters, this is different dimension. And when I set this up, you'll be able to tell the difference in a minute. But the dimensions are a little bit different. But and notice how on one side, the print is only on one side, where on a U.S. Army, the print is on both sides. There is no wrong side, so to speak. These work really well as a rain poncho. And yes, you can set them up, and I have set this up as a quick shelter where I like to take my nylon mesh hammock and swing it between two trees as a chair to sit down. And then I have slung this over me as a small drizzle light rain awning so I can sit in my chair, so to speak, by the fire and talk to people and be out of the drizzle, you know, without having to wear it. And it has served me well, but it is not something I make a shelter out of. Okay, let me show you what it looks like. Okay, here we see the actual U.S. Army poncho strung out so you can see it better. And at first glance, this appears to be pretty close. But whenever you actually side by side compare them, here's what you're going to get. This imitation surplus one is actually about 3 inches longer than the U.S. Army. But if you notice, it's also about 6 or 7 inches shorter than the U.S. Army. Hold on, I'll show you that up close a little better. Okay, as you can see, it is actually about one hand width, about 3 or 4 inches longer than the U.S. Army Poncho. But as to the width, it comes out to being about 8 inches or so narrower, about one hand right there, and in the middle it would be probably about the same. So what you're seeing is the imitation poncho is actually a little bit longer and would fit over a pack a little bit better. But it's where they sacrifice was how wide it is. It's narrower. So if you go to try to make a shelter out of that, yes, you can get into it, but it's a little more compact front to back, and you don't get nearly as good a coverage for using it as a shelter. See? So know what you're buying. So, in conclusion, here is the U.S. Army Poncho rolled up. Here is this aftermarket poncho. You can see a big difference now, can't you? When they display these out in boxes loose and open like that, be suspicious that it's not a full size. Now these are great ponchos as they are for just you to wear for rain gear. Yes, this is much more light and compact, fits in the haversack real well. This is a better shelter and for those type of uses. So, hey, 2 of them together don't weigh nothing. This is easily half the weight of this. And so I could carry this for a shelter and this for rain gear and additional shelter, now couldn't I? But just understand, when you see them at the gun shows or whatever, make sure how big it is before you throw down your money, okay? Hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you have, please hit the like, share, and subscribe down there. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, guys, I'm Blackie wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.